It's been 1 month since I switched from the Samsung Galaxy S21 to a Google Pixel 6 Pro. One reason is because I wanted to try a de-Googled Android OS, and chose GrapheneOS. Oddly enough, it's required to have a Google phone to use the de-Googled OS. Let's talk about why I decided to move away from Samsung phones. I have used their Galaxy phones since the S4 days. I have preferred them over any other phones, especially iPhones. So why did I stop? First, they mocked Apple for not having a removable battery, then did the same thing soon after. Same with the removal of the 3.5mm headphone jack. I was frustrated, but still continued to use their phones. Then, they removed what made not only their phones, but Android phones in general great, the microSD card reader. Even more frustrated, but it seems to be a trend to be more like Apple at this point, especially when they decided to put the front camera over the screen, instead of above it. I eventually pre-ordered the S21, and experienced, not only all of those criticisms that I just talked about, but I was also experiencing battery drain issues. Due to the included bloatware and Google services. The only two features I liked on the phone is 5G and DeX. In my opinion, it was better at being a portable desktop PC than a phone. After 2 years of using it, I decided that I wanted to try a de-Googled Android OS. So, I went on eBay, and bought the Google Pixel 6 Pro. As soon as I received it in the mail, I immediately installed GrapheneOS on it. I chose that OS because you can run Google services on it, but in a sandboxed mode. Sandboxed means that the Google services you need for certain apps to work runs like any other app. You can turn it on or off, and prevent it from going online, if you decide to do so. You basically have freedom to do whatever you want. My personal setup is that I have Google services installed, only giving it the bare minimum permissions needed. Google Play is installed, but it's only there to update Google services, because that is the only way to do it. To download Play Store apps, I use Aurora Store instead. It lets you download anything from the Play Store anonymously, using their own servers, no login required. I use 3 Google apps. Google Camera and Google Photos, both are to take full advantage of the Pixel's camera capabilities. I only give those 2 storage permissions, they stay offline all the time. Google Maps is the main reason why I have Google services installed. I use it for navigation. I only give it permission to use GPS, network, and sensors, when I use it. Otherwise, it's staying offline. At the time of writing this, the only apps I couldn't get working is augmented reality ones. Google Play services for AR does not seem to work at all. Wasn't a big deal, I was just testing to see what works and what doesn't. Considering that you can install, not only Play Store apps, but also open source ones from F-Droid securely, it is a great Android OS to use. You have full control of your phone when using it. Installing Google Anything is optional, it is not included with the OS. They include an app, simply called App, to let you easily download the entire Google services with one tap. If you're confused as to why someone would want to install Google apps on a de-Googled phone, it's simple. As I stated, they're sandboxed, which means they act like any other app. You can prevent it from doing anything if you want to. On Samsung phones, for example, you can turn on airplane mode and disable Google apps if you want to, but it will still send data to Google. When you turn your phone off, it's not really off. You lose not only privacy, but control of what you can do with your expensive phone. GrapheneOS gives you the privacy and control that you're missing. Oh, and Apple does it as well. If you think getting an iPhone will solve your problem, you're mistaken.